Alrighty, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to a Jason Kendall podcast. Alright, so I've been gone for a while. I know what's been going on. 2020 was a hell of a year, so here on this channel we talk about anything from hotshot trucking, business, entrepreneurship, automotive. This is the more laid-back side of what I do. I have my main YouTube channel. I have my vlog channel, and these episodes will be going onto the vlog channel, just more of a laid-back style. So, for now, we're just gonna have guests call in or Zoom with everything going on. But I would like to get a setup, even a mobile setup, when I'm out on the road to be able to stop and interview some truckers, meet up with guys that I see all the time. And go from there. It's not always going to be hotshot trucking. It's going to be other types of businesses, people that are successful out there that I, either admire or, I see them hustling and they want to tell their story and get their name out there a little bit. And this is a great way to do it. So what have I been up to? I have been working my butt off here, trying to end out 2020 strong with the way the business took a hit during the pandemic. Crunched the numbers here the other night. We're only down about 10% of where I wanted to be, but I did surpass last year's numbers, so I'm very happy with that. Expenses were a little higher this year, but our gross overall number was our highest yet. So that's nothing to be upset about. So let's see what else. What do we got on the docket today? We got some stuff on the docket today we want to talk about. So if you guys are here for the hotshot stuff, the first segment of the show is always going to be some hotshot news that I come across. Anything from, truck-related things to just about anything. So that'll be the first step, but I do want to open with some some opening comments. So 2021's here, guys. I'm going to try to make some changes here in 2021. All the negative comments that are not constructive criticism are going to be ignored. I've found myself caring way too much about what other people think. Like, I'll go through my comments on YouTube, all the negative comments, and it'll just sit there and bug me, and I'm, just waiting to fire back at this person because, 99.9% of these people have no idea what you're doing, no idea where you've come from, or how they think you should be running your business. They think they know best, and they don't. So most of those people are just sitting behind a keyboard, miserable with their own life, so they feel they need to take it out on others. I've watched videos on YouTube. That's pretty much all I do, is I listen to podcasts or listen to videos, and never once have I found myself ready on the keyboard to make a negative comment. If I had a negative comment or I didn't like what I was watching, I just click off and go to another video. If it gets that bad, I unsubscribe and we move on. But it's, I don't have time to take out anger on other people that don't deserve it. So one thing I want to say about that is I get a lot of these questions in these hotshot, forums on Facebook or groups on Facebook, and everybody's like, I see people doing work, and they're like, hey, should I start a YouTube channel? And everybody's like, oh, no, you shouldn't. Everybody's doing it. Quite frankly, who cares what other people are doing? I find YouTube a great way to make connections. I have gotten many of, transports off of YouTube. I've actually had my customers watch my channel before they were my customer and see my work and then want to deal with me because of the way I handled myself. So if you're thinking about it, if you're thinking about starting a channel or, getting a business Instagram going, do it. Don't worry about what there's always going to be negative comments no matter what you do, but 99% of those people that make those comments have no idea what you're doing. And what you'll find is the support you'll get from people that have no idea who you are is going to outweigh the negative comments. So you just have to let those people go, let them be miserable, and just move on with your life from there. Alright, so let's hop into the hotshot news. So I did see this on Facebook the other day. You guys that are looking to lease trucks from Enterprise for the entire year of 2021 due to the truck shortage, doesn't look like there's going to be any new leases available for anybody that's not already leasing a truck from Enterprise. And one question I have about that I'd like to, figure out the answer for is what's going to happen to the guys that already have them and they're getting to, to that mileage where they like to trade out. So when this whole Enterprise lease thing started out, they were trading them out around 60,000 miles. Now most of the people that I've seen with the shortage of trucks, they're, getting to 70, 80,000 miles on the trucks, and they're not being able to trade them out. So, my question is, is a customer going to get stuck with not having a truck? Like, hey, you have to turn your truck in, but we don't have anything available for you? Or are they just going to let these trucks run and have no mileage limit on it? It's a good question, because the one thing Enterprise, what helps with the Enterprise rental process for Enterprise, the company, is being able to turn these trucks in within warranty and not having to deal with any major repairs. Say you get one of these guys out here that has 80,000 miles and, a Ford that has a 10-speed in it, and they have had issues, and the 10-speed goes out. What happens then? Who's paying for the transmission in it? Also with the Ram guys, with the CP4 issues, outside of warranty, I don't know if they extended that warranty yet. They should have, but, what happens then? So if you have any idea, drop a comment, let me know what happened. I'd like to pass that information on to people who are looking to lease trucks, because it looks like everybody's going to have to start buying trucks here till the truck shortage is over with. So moving on, I did see this piece of news as well, that Ram is going to be moving away from that dreadful CP4 pump for 2021 trucks. I read an article, and I will quote it here. It says, "We reached out to Ram for clarification on the pump change, and we were told that Ram did indeed change the injection pump again for 2021. This affects both the standard and high output versions of the Cummins inline turbo 6 diesel. While our rep wasn't able to clarify what pump it is, it does bear a striking resemblance to the tried and true Bosch CP3 pump." So looks like Ram is going to be getting away from that CP4 pump and going back to the CP3 in the Bosch brand that has been proven to be, a great pump for years and years and years. So that's good news for the Ram guys. Those diehard Ram guys, I hated to see them have to move to other brands because they just couldn't trust it to go more than, heck, I've seen them go only 400 miles before the pump was an issue. But, when you go out there and you spend $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 on a truck, and you don't know if it's even going to make it to 100,000 miles, which is sad. All right. So the last part of the Hotshot News is an article that I got off of FreightWaves that I also found interesting here. It's called Freight Alley, first of its kind truck-only non-toll road. The article states a Chattanooga, Tennessee-based partnership is lobbying the state of Georgia to include Freight Alley. Its plan is to open truck-only lanes along Interstate 75. The $1.8 billion project, which was actually unveiled in 2018, involves building two barrier-separated, non-toll truck-only routes northbound lanes parallel to I-75, beginning at the I-75-475 interchange north of Macon, Georgia, and ending at State Route 20 interchange in Henry County, a distance of approximately 41 miles. They actually have a video overview of how it would work, but I found this kind of interesting. I wanted to get you guys' thoughts on it, but I think the truck-only non-tolled routes are a very good idea. You get into these places, and I live in Pennsylvania, so I have to deal with it every day with the PA Turnpike, and it's the cost associated with running across Pennsylvania that is, absolutely ridiculous. I mean, I think end to end, depending on how many axles you have on your truck, it could be $100, $200, $300 to run all the way across Pennsylvania, which is absolutely ridiculous. And brokers or customers or nobody ever takes that into consideration, that the cost that comes out of our pocket. But I think on busy routes all over the United States, they should include some of these non-toll dedicated routes for trucks only. I think it would be more beneficial than having HOV lanes, because if you can take the passenger cars and separate them away from all the trucks. You see that on the New Jersey Turnpike, how there's truck only. It just kind of separates the car and truck traffic and makes it safer for everybody. It will cut down on costs for the trucking companies of having to pay tolls. Probably will cut down on delivery times, accidents, and traffic for everyone. You think about the number of accidents that are just truck and car related for, somebody cutting off a tractor trailer and stopping distance it takes to get a fully loaded 80,000-pound rig stopped. Having those trucks separated from passenger cars, I think is a great idea. You take the professional drivers, which that's a loose term, professional drivers, and you take the passenger cars and separate them out. You could probably save quite a bit of time and usually fatalities. Any accident involving a tractor trailer and a passenger car is not always going to turn out the best for whoever's in the passenger car. So, with that being said, that's it for the Hotshot News for today. I'm going to try to keep a 8 to 10 minute section in each episode of the Hotshot News. And these, like I said, these podcasts are going to be on my personal channel, and then they're also available on currently 6 streaming platforms for podcasts, including Spotify. As you start these podcasts, you have to be approved on certain platforms. So we are approved for 6 right now, so we'll keep that going. But we're going to move into the next section of the podcast here. All right, now let's talk my business. So, like I said, I was crunching the numbers here the other day on how many total loads we did and so forth, and the money associated with that. Now, I've completed 345 orders this year in 2020. Some of these orders are 2 or 3 car orders, so you have to take that in consideration. As I got this bigger trailer, I've been looking for more of the one pick, one drop. So you can say probably, I would say between 425, 450 total cars moved in the year of 2020, which is pretty good. But I have some of these orders for one customer where I did 20 some cars. They bought 12 to 15 cars in 1 week at the auction, usually about an hour and a half from their dealership, and they bought 12 to 15, but they also wanted to get 4 to 6 back to the auction to try to resell cars that didn't just work out for them, or other trade-ins that they had gotten during that week. So what we would do would we actually pick up 2 or 3 or however many they had, transport them back to the auction, check them in, and then go into the auction and get out however many they had purchased. So, the hard part with that is not the driving and loading and strapping the car, it's actually going into the auction and getting 12 to 15 cars out. So what I have started doing now is paying a carpooling service to do any orders I have of more than 2 cars, so 3 and above. I will pay a company to actually pull the vehicles out of the auction for me. Now, if you're in Manheim, PA, there's a company that pulls them out. They're about $9 a car. They'll pull them out and hide the keys or store the keys or whatever you want them to do till you get there, and you just pull into the parking lot and your cars are waiting there for you. Now, I have taken that into consideration with larger orders, and that's not coming out of my pocket. That in turn gets charged to the customer. They don't see it that it's being charged to them, but you add a couple extra bucks on each car, depending on what the rate per mile is, and you get your money back that way. Most people don't understand the time it takes to even go into an auction and pull out one car. One car, you're there for, by the time you park, you walk into the auction, you verify your location of the vehicle on the gate pass, and you either hop in a shuttle, which they don't really have running anymore because of the pandemic, and you walk the lot. You can be there for a half hour per car. You multiply that times 4 cars. That's 2 hours of the day gone. So if you can just roll into the parking lot and have them waiting there for you, be in and out in a half hour, it's worth the time and money. And like I said, anything over 2 cars, 3 plus, I'm paying somebody to pull them out for me. Now, I also have a customer that has been very great with. He has been I don't know. I don't know the whole situation. I'd like to figure it out because the cars are going to Ohio, but they're coming out of Maryland. I don't know if he is in contact with a tow company in Maryland that will actually pull the cars out for him, because he's been having them in the parking lot waiting for me to make my job a little easier, which has been great. But I was just looking over that because I do have 3 more for that customer this week that go to Ohio, and he's already had them pulled out of the auction for me. So we're going to try to keep these to around 15 to 30 minutes or so for just the solo podcast ones, and 45 minutes to an hour with a guest, depending on what we're talking about or who we're interviewing. So I want you guys to let me know what or who you think I should interview. I want to stay. I'll have certain, we'll do all hotshot people, and that'll be a series, and then we're gonna branch out into people that are, in different industries. I have an idea of a couple lawn and landscape guys, who all started their business from scratch, and kind of want to get the the down low of how they got started. Maybe some numbers behind the business of how much gross they're making per week, things like that. Just because not everybody's interested in really going into hotshot trucking. I mean, the past few years it has been the thing to do, was to get into hotshot trucking, but it does take a little more money and more insurance and things like that. So being able to get into a different business, whether it be reselling items on eBay, lawn and landscape, or just some other side hustles of whatever it is. Let me know what you guys want to see down in the comments below. I'm not I'm not going to keep this just hotshot trucking. This is my personal page, and any type of business really interests me. So what we're going to do is I'm going to reach out to a few people here to see if I can get somebody on for next week's episode. Like I said, that should be a 45-minute to an hour interview, unless we get talking and there's no limit, and see what I can get. And I'll be announcing that when I have confirmation of who it is. But I want to thank you guys for taking the time to listen to today. I appreciate that, because some of these videos, these podcasts, are going to be audio only. But as we start interviewing guests, it will be audio and visual. So stay tuned for that. And with that being said, guys, I appreciate it, and I'll see you on the next one.